And in today's online headlines, we begin with an American school, right, banning the U.S. flag. And the court is okay with that. Now, everybody's talking to me in my ear right now saying, what's wrong with you? There's a lot. Democrats knew this was a big deal, November, because not only did you have the midterm election issue, you had the economic issues, you had the tax cut issues, but then you also had the redistricting issue, which was going to happen. Republicans won big all around the country. They're the ones who are now going to draw up the new districts. So I don't think a lot of people realized how big November was. The political parties knew it, and now we're starting to see just how important it was to them. And I've said it, I say it twice a year, I say this. If you want to run for office, you only need 2 platforms in Orlando. Change I-4 to north and south, no more east-west, and get rid of daylight saving time. And it's as simple as that.
I will vote for that person.
100% of the votes.
You should run, I'll vote for you.
Yeah, I got too much baggage. Our good friend, Attorney Bob Fisher over there, he's shaking his head already saying, no, John, that's not a good idea. Hey, good morning, guys. We're going to start with the debate over gay marriage. It may be a big issue right now, but in just a few years, likely won't even be debated. This year, as you know by now, the University of Central Florida football team had a lot of success. But with success comes new challenges. 2 high-profile players have already announced that they're going to enter the NFL draft. That means the school has to find some new players to fill those positions earlier than they anticipated.
Well, that's a great point, Charlie, because a lot of people have been talking about that out here today. You know, everybody's looking forward to the season, but of course, everybody thinking, is this the last opening day for Albert Pujols here in St. Louis? We don't want to think about it, but yes, it's a possibility.
Yeah, you saw just a second ago, fans are already out here. As a matter of fact, you and I have both remarked, people are out here earlier this year than previous years. We even got stuck in traffic on the way over here bright and early this morning, so they're expecting great things to happen here at the track today. You know what, yesterday some great things happened for some of the drivers on the track, including a little sweet redemption for one guy. Hey, Jenny, I want to start off with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Okay, they opened the show. Maybe, I don't know when I became that parent, but I think I'm getting tired of seeing performances where I have to cover my kids' eyes every time they come on. Instagram.
Hey.
Reports are that Lake Mary High School in Seminole County is under a code red at this point. We've seen images from the scene showing sheriff's deputies in the area with the guns drawn. Lots of students being led out of the school right now with their hands in the air or behind their head. I don't know why they have this rule in place, but it's another one of these crazy NCAA violations where they're focusing on little bitty things, Mike, but then ignore the big things that go on. That first paycheck. I mean, do they give you a check? Is it direct deposit? What's that like the first time you look in your bank account and say, man, there's 30, 40, 50, $200,000 here all of a sudden. Growing up the way you did, that's life-changing.
I'm telling you, my first check, actually what I did with my first check was I framed it.
You know, you talked about one of the stories missed. I think another misperception is, and I was just reading it today, is that this dramatic swing to the right with the last election. And I just want to scream and say that's not it. It wasn't a swing to the right. It was the people in the middle saying, I'm tired of the way things are going. The right is the only other option. We have the Democrats in charge right now. We want to see change. There's no other option but to go right. And I say that because I have a feeling, Charles, we'll be having the same discussion in 2 years where it's going to swing back to the left if things don't change.
Well, I mean,
these people in the middle, 60% of people say they don't identify with the party right now. 19% Democrat, 20% Republican, and 60% who are making all the decisions but get no credit for it. A lot of people, if you're going to get a medical procedure, make sure the person has a medical background. That'd be one. And if the doctor says, let's just come on back to my house, that's another problem. You know, Brett, it's interesting, though, that even some of the things he called for in his last State of the Union, even the Democratic Senate didn't move forward on those. So, you know, yeah, you can put this out there, but if you don't have lawmakers that are going to go along with it, you're pretty much stuck. If you could go in and find out if you have these 4 markers in your bloodstream, would you want to know that you are likely to die within 5 years?
I don't think so. No. I don't want to know. Would you?
Well, if there was something you could do about it, like if it said, okay, you have these, go out and
exercise more, take this drug,
insulin, whatever it is. But it didn't seem to have any indication. Some of the people were healthy, some of the people were overweight. There was no underlying factor here. If you had these 4, you're done. Can you imagine, though, a woman who decides finally, okay, I'm going to go donate some eggs, and she goes to the clinic, and they're like, you know, you're not attractive enough. Unrest among the populace. Continued unrest. Because it's going to be interesting with all the new Tea Party members or Tea Party-backed candidates who are now in office. Are they going to be able to resist the spending, resist the power that comes along with Washington, D.C., because they ran on a platform that said, I'm not going to get mixed up in all that, and if they do, then the people are going to turn on. Good morning, guys. Yeah, I want to talk more about the Super Bowl. It's in New Jersey.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, you can bet just about on anything these days for the Super Bowl, like first team to score, first letter of the name of the player who gets the first sack. But this year, it's also all about betting on the weather.
Taking food from children is not the image that they want.
Sorry, that's not the image you want, but that's what you did.
Yeah, they said they didn't realize that these kids had balances until after they had gotten their food and sat down, so they went and took the food from the kids.
That is absolutely insane.
So then they threw it away because you can't reserve it, so we're not going to let you eat it.
Here's
even
some
though
milk
you paid.
and an
We're going to throw it away.
I can't believe this
And they were saying the children were humiliated and embarrassed and crying and upset in front of their friends.
Don't be judgmental. That's not the image they want. And look at Jay-Z. He's dressed in the tux. He looks great. Everybody wants to be a stripper.
Thank you.
That's the problem, Miley. I mean, you just go down all these acts that are getting all this attention. It's everybody wants to twerk. They want to work the pole. They want to get as scantily clad. Again, I became that parent. Just keep it clean.
Exactly.
I don't want to get on here and lecture you young whippersnappers again.
Okay, I want to read this part about 9/11 because the biggest terrorist attack in U.S. history. We're talking world history here, and it's just a couple of lines. It says, after the terrorist attacks on the U.S. in September 2001, President George W. Bush declared a war on terror. In 2002, the U.S. sent forces to Afghanistan where the terrorist plot had been hatched. That's it?
That's it.
That's all these kids are going to learn about 9/11.
From this textbook.
So I got some extra money from Fox recently, kind of a bonus. Didn't happen. Something like this, what would it run?
You know, a car like this, you know, an S550, a car like this is going to probably run you about $150,000 with the upgrades and options to the car.
I have $20 down.
Okay, $20 down would get you a quarter tank of gas and a drive off the parking lot.
We made it to the beach. Hey, I'm John.
Hey, Johnson Baker.
All right, this is going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome. I got one question for you. What in the world are you wearing?
TV magic. All right, what do you think?
Somewhat better, but I'm still not sure.
Can we go anyway?
Yeah, let's hit it.
I had forgotten about this. You guys beat Tom Brady, and that was the best team of all time, right?
Yes,
and you guys knocked him off. How was that? I mean, yeah, they're a good team, but you guys got the best of them in the end. It's so intense, I had to stretch this morning, okay, for the online headlines. Okay, CNN has problems. Most of you have heard that by now, since the ratings keep getting lower and lower, but now the king has spoken. Larry King says the network is in such bad shape, they should start running cartoons.
Where's the drink service?
That's the tiki bar pose.
Now, if I was a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'd put $6 million on the shirtless thing.
Right.
Yeah. I'd go shirtless. This is very easy.
I don't know how you can bet on something that people can obviously dictate. Yeah.
Right. And will the announcers say the word marijuana? Well, Joe Buck could say, yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay, was Michelle Obama angry about her husband taking snapshots with the British Prime Minister and the Danish Prime Minister? All right, what do you think? Is she upset? Luann and I have already argued once about this.
Yeah, I don't think she's upset. I think she's watching the service.
Okay, don't come back on camera yet, guys, because we're going to scroll through some of these in the Daily Mail. Okay, ooh, little chummy there for that selfie. Okay, a couple more down here. Look at how the president is leaning over to her and away.
They're just chit-chatting.
And then finally, Michelle's like, oh, that's enough. Look at that look on her face. Come on.
It's kind of a scolding look.
It's time to
wife,
go.
Right?
Yeah, and then you see, okay,
it is
time
yet?
to go.
Oh, cheek kisses and everything.
Well, okay, yeah, I've had that look before from my wife, and I know, I don't know if she was angry. I don't know if she was angry about the selfie. In our case, it'd be like, you're at a funeral. Act straight.
50 Cent also out here because he has a driver racing. One of the best moments apparently was yesterday when there was a press conference and one of the press guys said, Mr. Cent. I was like, what? Nobody's ever called me Mr. Cent.
Jerry Willis is live from the nation's capital this morning with a closer look at the numbers. Okay, so let's talk about this first. Why is there this proposal to dip into the 401k, at least the tax advantages here?
There are quite a few here. You guys can see behind us lots of groups coming through, getting their tours of the areas, kind of behind the scenes before everything starts up. But when you're talking 200,000 people getting into one relatively small area, it takes a lot to get that many people in here, and that's why you're going to see some big lines today.
You absolutely will. We're going to be talking about security throughout the morning, and that is something that Tom Johnson's been taking a very close look at today.
As a matter of fact, Tom is behind security lines today. He's already gotten into one area that most people can't.